Hi guys, my name is David McClellan. This is my presentation portion of the literature review paper for 5103. So I think what I'll do is I'll just share my screen. Yeah, this is kind of a rough version of my paper. And so the abstract is just kind of introducing that I'm going to be looking at the learning theory connectivism. So that was a learning theory that I found, just kind of relaying it back to the experiences of last spring and how, especially, I know all students had accessibility issues, but especially for English as additional language students at the school I worked at last year, and then even moving into this year working at a new school, it's pretty evident that there were some serious issues with access to technology for EAL students, for a literature review, to maybe see ways that we could be more prepared. So a good way for me to do that was to look closer at the learning theory of connectivism. Just kind of some interesting ideas, and this is a relatively new learning theory, which I think is important. When we look at most of our learning theories, we're looking at very traditional learning theories. I'm not saying they're outdated, but maybe they need to have some technology included in them. So the principles of connectivism would be that learning doesn't just reside in the individual, but also through a diversity of ideas and opinions. I think that's an important idea. That maintaining connections is important for continuous learning. Just kind of moving on, talked about the importance again of language acquisition for English as an additional language learners in a digital context. So some of the ideas found that when you're integrating technology, maybe ensuring that it's integrated into a project-based learning or genuine learning experiences, and then also ensuring that you're aiming for linguistic accuracy, but you're also showing awareness for cultural components as well. That's important. Also important that when you introduce technology to students, that you're giving opportunities for EAL students to communicate, sometimes with native English speakers or other EAL students, but that communicative ability is also promoted. And then finally, looking at kind of connectivism in an EAL context. So the research that I found kind of just looks at promoting participatory learning for EAL students, making sure they're kind of active learners using digital learning. Also maybe in higher grades, promoting critical thinking. That can be a challenging concept sometimes for EAL students, because oftentimes we're looking closely at the literal meaning of words. But if we can look at critical components, that can be very helpful. And then conclusions is just kind of trying to look for a way forward. So looking at just giving them a few tools, I think, is really important. This isn't meant to be critical of anybody. School boards, governments, teachers, administration can be more prepared to prepare our students for digital learning. Okay. Connectivism, learning theory, is something that needs to be a little bit more in everybody's consciousness. For me, I wasn't really aware of it until this course, and I think it promotes a lot of ideas that I think would be really helpful for teaching in the 21st century. All right.